What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Devblog number 4 for my survival MMO. Got a lot done this week in terms of the gameplay. Unfortunately, I don't have any new news for the procedurally generated maps. There's a few more things I need to get worked out in the core gameplay before I go much further with that. So, like I said, got a lot done. One of the things you might already notice is my guy has like a little helmet on, he has a new shirt, just a couple new things that I've added. And then you probably noticed these two guys that are sleeping in my base. So this is pretty cool. Basically now when you log out of the game, your character will no longer just disappear. Instead, they will just go to sleep in the game. And this is going to have a lot of interesting effects on the gameplay because when the game is released, that means you will need to have a base or find a safe place for your character to sleep because you will be able to kill sleeping players, or basically players who are logged off. You can also loot them and take their items and all that good stuff. So, you know, of course, you're going to have to find a safe place. This is a survival game. So you'll need a nice cozy place to go to sleep. So let me go ahead and demonstrate this. It was a lot of work. It was very frustrating because, you know, it affected logging in and logging out. So it basically affected almost every area of the code. Of course, you know, when the server starts, it has to log in all the players and put their sleeping bodies everywhere. Has to load all their inventory, all, you know, their character skin, what they look like, what armor they have on, and then send that to players who are logging in. So there's a lot of work involved, and so let me kind of demonstrate and show you what this looks like in the game. So let me move this client off to the side. And let me open this other client here. So I'm going to log Rahibef in, and you can see what will happen. He should just stand up. Let's go ahead and log in. And there he is. So Rahibef is now in the game world, and he can walk around and interact and all that good stuff. Now when I log him out, he should just go back to sleep. And he did. So pretty cool, right? Let's go ahead and open up another client again because I will need it. Okay, so again, I'll just kind of show you guys again. Join the game, you should just stand up. Okay, so that was one of the things that I've added this week, and we can minimize this guy for now. Let me go over some other things. Let's open up our inventory. And I've now added shoes and helmets to the game. So before, the shoes were just connected to your pants and there were no helmets, period. But now you can see he's walking around barefoot and there's his hair. But you can now put on helmets and shoes, which is pretty cool. Another thing you can now do is actually drop items. So I can like throw these shoes over to Rahibef right there, and I can then pick those up and add them into my inventory and then even equip them if I wanted to. And just a funny way to trade items. Right now they only throw them to the right. So of course I'll fix that eventually. Okay, so some other things that I've added to the game is some meat and some rotten meat, and they should work. Maybe not. They might not work right now. Yeah, they work. So, you know, when I click E, you can see on my health bar on the bottom right, I'm eating rotting meat, so that's damaging my health. And then the meat, that should heal me. So, consumable items, pretty cool stuff. It works. That means I can add potions and poisons and drinks later on and all that good stuff. What else did I add? Pickaxes. So that's another thing. Let's go ahead and zoom in here. I went ahead and made it to where it matters what tool you use on the nodes. So you have an axe, which is most useful for trees. So I know I'm zooming in and out a lot. But I have an axe equipped now, and I'm going to go ahead and start chopping at this tree. And you can see it's giving me 10 wood per swing. Now, if I was to use a pickaxe, which I just equipped it now, if I was to use a pickaxe on the tree, it's just going to give me 2 at a time. So, yeah, now I have the axe. The axe is the way to go, of course, if you're going to use a tree. The same with ore, stone ore or metal ore sulfur. If I'm using an axe like I'm doing now, it's going to give me 5 at a time stone. But if I use a pickaxe, it's going to give me 12 at a time. So much faster. In the future, basically when you use your tools, it will damage the tools. So if I was to use an axe on an ore, it would damage the axe and eventually break it a lot faster. So I think my sword, I can use that too to gather. Yeah, that gives me one at a time, so I can even use my sword to like gather some wood and stuff if I'm in like a dire situation. But it's not going to give me a lot, and it'll just break my sword really fast. So my pickaxe is going to gather a lot faster than my axe. So that's pretty cool. That's in the game. I also just fixed a glitch, which you probably didn't notice, of course, in the last video, but the animation looks a lot better with the shaders. So that's good stuff. I think that's it. I think the last type of armor I'm going to add before I release the game is belt. I want to give people the ability to change their belt because right now it's just attached to the shirt. Let's see. So yeah, again, you guys can follow the project on the blog. Let me go ahead and check it out also to see if there's anything that I missed. I had a little progress bar. I'm going to release this game when I get a 1.0 version. So that'll be an alpha, and you guys can get on and help me test some things. So sleeping, I went over that. More types of armor, helmets, inventory, resource gathering. Yeah, I pretty much went over everything in the video so far. So, yep. Go to the website, wizardy.com. Follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/wizardy. I'm always posting updates on my Twitter about the progress that I'm making. I do want to answer a couple questions that people had on my YouTube videos or on the other devblogs. People were asking about if there's going to be PvE, and yes, there will be PvE, and that'll be actually a big part of the game. There will be PvP, and that'll be a big part of the game, but I'm gonna make a game basically where you have to work with other players to get ahead. So I'm gonna encourage, through the gameplay, interacting and making friends with other players. And you're basically going to have other players to kill a lot of the enemies in the game. You will be able to fly solo, but it'll be a lot harder. So it's gonna encourage you to be friendly to players, make friends, and of course if you have enemies, those are the people that you're going to want to kill. So the PvP will be a big thing. I plan to add a whole variety of different monsters. Of course, since in the last video I told you this game is going to be based on a terraformed version of Mars, I have some pretty cool ideas for different monsters and characters and all that good stuff. You know, I might even add different dungeons and maybe even the ability to go to Earth, and that'll be like, since it's all like radiated and uninhabitable, there might be like a bunch of mutants. There'll be like an end game area where you can go and get rare resources, fight like huge boss monsters. So that'll be a big part. And you know, you see swords and axes and pickaxes and anvils and stuff, so it looks kind of medieval, but this game's actually based in the future. So there's going to be laser guns, there's going to be laser turrets, there's going to be force fields, there's going to be tanks, all kinds of crazy stuff. You know, I'm even going to add aircraft, so I'll get more into that as the game develops, because I don't want to seem too ambitious. But yeah, I mean, you're basically going to go from a naked guy in the woods to like this huge sci-fi base. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be really exciting. What else? Someone was asking about the base building. Yep, that's gonna come very, very soon. I think the next thing that I'm gonna actually work on is the ability to store items in chests and the ability to loot dead players, as well as, you know, sleeping players. So that'll be the next thing that I work on. And after that, I'm gonna work on base building. So my computer's being really loud right now. It's really bugging me. I have like a fan that's messed up. So yeah, PvP will be big, PvE will be big, base building definitely going to be a thing, and for that, basically you can build anywhere in the game, but there will be a special item you can craft and place in your building, which will actually give you territory that nobody else can build on. So that'll be pretty good, and of course it will be something you want in your base. So I think that's about it. I covered a lot of ground in this video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment, and I will of course answer. Another thing I'd just like to say, the graphics for the game are not set in stone at all. These are all basically programmer graphics. I actually want to raise some money eventually when the game makes a lot of progress, and I want to redo all the graphics, all the characters, all the armor, the weapon, just everything, and I want to give it a really nice look. Everything's 32 by 32 now, but I want to make it a lot bigger and scale it down to just make everything really high resolution and whatnot. So, alright, I think that is pretty much it. And I really like that you can just throw items around now. That's pretty cool. And it was a lot of work, really, because you know, of course, when you log back in, it has to send you all these items and let you know that it's there, and that's why I had to put off the procedurally generated map, because I'm working on the server right now to where it keeps track of everyone who's sleeping, all the items on the ground, all the dead bodies, and of course it's going to have to keep track of where the bases are, and then everything in the base. So once that's all done, I'll get back to the procedurally generated map. Alright guys, check out the website, wizardia.com. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like, leave a comment. Hope to hear from you guys. Peace out.